with names like Friendly and Warm, Lovedy, or Single and Ready to Mingle, you're not gonna get a girl. Hi guys. For this episode of Let's Talk About Something, I want to talk about dating apps. Or dating sites, rather. This is going to be a little bit more relaxed, because it's something that I'm processing through right now. So to give you some context to this conversation, I created a dating profile, but I did so from the influence of my cousin. She met her, she is this close to being in a relationship with a guy that she met on Bumble off of a profile she created as a joke. And knowing my cousin, and knowing how she is in regards to relationship, this would be her first, I was curious. I was curious as to dating sites, and so I created one. I want to make it very clear that I'm not desperate. I'm not looking for anything. I'm not on the site to try to find my one true love or to find my Prince Charming or anything like that. I'm on the site because I'm curious. I'm only doing it for a month, because the site that I'm using is Zoosk. I didn't even know it existed until a couple days ago. I was in my email and an ad popped up for Zoosk, and I'm like, well, you know what? Why not try it? But for some of the features on the site, I have to pay for them, and so I paid for a month, and at the end of the month, I'm getting rid of the profile. I'm getting rid of the site. And I'm not going to do it before because I paid for a month, so like I might as well use the entire time. But while on this app and exploring things and being on a dating site, a lot of things are coming to my attention that are kind of, well, scary. I'm a hopeless romantic, so I'm a huge believer in the fact in letting things happen naturally. I have this dream that when I get to campus in the fall, I will meet the person I'm supposed to marry, but that's because I'm a hopeless romantic and a dreamer combined into one. Not a good combination, let me tell you what. And so I'm holding, oh, holy bug, that was my face. I'm holding off for the person that I meet face to face, because then I get to know them outside of just a picture online. You know what I mean? And so I'm not doing this because I'm looking for my husband or whatever. I'm just curious. And it was actually funny because in the first day that I was on it, scrolling through some of the profiles, I found a guy that I go to church with. It was funny. I'm gonna wait to see if he recognizes me, and if he does, then I'll send him a message. But I'll respond to a message from him. But if not, it is what it is. But there are a couple of things that I want to talk about. There's the wind. Dating sites, to me, I'm very hesitant to use one to find a mate, because again, I'm a hopeless romantic, but I also feel like dating sites are taking over the nature of relationships. They're taking over the love at first sight kind of chance meeting kind of thing. It's, in a way, it's very organized. It's very structured in the people that you see. Instead of just meeting somebody at like a coffee shop while you're at school or something, you have to be scrolling through the people to find somebody that interests you. And that's kind of where one of my biggest issues lies. As you're flipping through profiles, at least on Zoosk, if you do this thing called carousel, it's where you just look at profiles and decide would you meet up with them, would you not. And I'm pretty sure that that's a feature that's on many other sites. However, I haven't looked into many others, so I could be very wrong. But on this particular feature, sorry, my laptop is balanced on my legs, you only see their age and their picture. you don't get to see anything else about them. And in that moment, you have to decide, would you meet them or not? Freaking cat hair. And I have a problem with that, because you're looking at these people like, you have to decide based on a very visual representation. You don't even get the chance to like figure out, okay, does this person agree with the things that I agree with? Are they in a close proximity to me? Do we have similar interests? You just have to make a decision off of a picture. And I've always been somebody who, when I fall in love with a guy, I don't fall in love with him because of his physical appearance. That's an added bonus. He has to share my same values. He has to, we have to share some of the same things. He has to be in a reasonable age range. And things like that. I won't say yes to any guy on the street. I won't talk to any guy who messages me. And those are my standards. And I feel like a lot of creepy things can happen on dating sites. And you have to be very, very particular. You have to be, the things that are important to you, you have to hold so firm to. You have to like test every single profile you see up against those things that are important to you. So when I'm searching, because I can search for profiles that meet my criteria, I'm very particular. They have to meet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 big things. And if they don't meet those big things, I'm sorry. And it's not that I'm trying to be mean or anything. I just know that my heart and my soul and my future is more important to me than having fun in a moment. You know what I mean? And I know you could argue, well, if that's the case, then why are you on the site? And I would say because I'm curious. There are a couple of guys that I'm talking to, I am having fun talking to. And if something were to happen, that's awesome. I'm not expecting it to. But I'm not going into this intending, like I said, to meet my one true love. I still hold very firmly to the belief that I will meet my husband face to face. We will meet in a face-to-face interaction. We will get to know each other in a face-to-face interaction. But I think it's very important that if you are going to use dating apps, that you know what's important to you. Is your body important to you? So women, do you want pictures with holy cleavage out? And do remarks about your cleavage, does that make you feel happy? And if so, then you can't claim that everybody's a creep. You know what I mean? Because if those comments are the comments that you're looking for, then people that comment on that are doing exactly what you want them to. Now, I'm not somebody who, my pictures on the site are of like here, I don't know if you can see, but like middle chest up. So there's nothing really below my shoulders. You just get the tops of my shoulders and up. There's one picture full body, but I'm completely clothed, actually in a sweatshirt and jeans and hiking boots and a scarf. So like I'm completely covered. But I still get a lot of people, a lot of guys who comment sexual things towards me. Now, they're not like blatantly sexual, but there's a guy who sent me yum yum. Like, I'm sorry, that's not okay. I have guys saying they start out the conversation, instead of saying, hey, my name is so and so, how are you today? They start off by saying, why are you so beautiful? Or, you pretty, or, talk to me, cutie. Like, I'm sorry. First off, let me talk to you guys out there. Guys, if you're on a dating site, that is not how you get a girl. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna get a little flack for it, but, girls, guys, if a girl is responding to you when you say something like that, she's not worth your time. Girls need to have expectations. I need to have criteria. And if the person that they're talking to doesn't meet that, or they're not willing to set those up, I think they're setting themselves up for trouble. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm just coming from experience, which is probably something that I will talk about in the near future, because it's an important story to tell a lot of people, especially in this, hey, give me your number age. Things that are important to me in a relationship are things that I'm not willing to sacrifice. I'm not willing to be willy-nilly one. And I think that that needs to be the same for everybody else. And this is probably a lot of rambling and a lot of nonsensical stuff, which, if you've stayed with me for this long through my ramblings, well, bravo. But dating sites, I've always been very wary. Because it's the same with meeting somebody in a chat room or randomly on Facebook. You don't really know who they truly are, particularly if they only provide one picture, if they don't provide a picture at all. There's one guy who his picture was clearly of a 60-year-old, and he marked his age as 18. Like, I'm sorry, that's a bit of a not okay thing. And I think the thing with dating sites, which is the most upsetting to me, is they're all based on physical appearance. You have a little bit of who they are, but you make a judgment based on their picture. Are you willing to pursue somebody based on a picture? Because if you are, I think, honestly, that's incredibly superficial. I reach out if I've only sent a couple of messages to other people, like initiating a conversation. And I do that if something in their profile is something that I find incredibly important. I don't reach out to somebody just be like, oh, hey, I like your profile picture. I reach out if there's something with a deeper level to it that we can have conversations about. Because if I just say, hey, you're hot, or hey, I like your profile picture, there's not really much else we can go from there other than just a very physical essence to the conversation. And I'm tired of that. I think it would be cool to create a dating site where there's no pictures, you just have a name and a story, and they have to talk about themselves, and you have to decide from that information, is this somebody that you're willing to pursue? And I know that you could say, well, words could be anything. Well, then pictures could be anything too. And so given the information that you see, or from the information that you read on this pictureless dating site, you would have to decide from that, is that something that's important to you or not? I think that's something that I would be interested in, only because that's more up my alley than this. And just a couple of tips, because I'm so tired of this. If you're creating a profile, if you feel the need to do so, create a picture that is professional, that really exhibits who you are. Make sure it's clear. So many guys that are messaging me have really grainy pictures, have fuzzy pictures, maybe there's drugs or alcohol involved in the picture, maybe it's bad lighting, maybe there's one guy who the first picture I saw was really nice, so I looked through a couple others, and there's one picture of him in the shower, completely in the shower. That's not okay. I'm sorry. So you have to be aware of the pictures that you're putting out there. The pictures that I've used are just of my face, so all you see is of my face. Or at one point there's one with a hand. Or I think the picture that I have set for YouTube is one of the pictures I've used. Dating sites are like any other thing on the internet. You have to be careful. And if you're just going to put like your entire body out there, oh gosh, be prepared for those kind of comments. And you have to be careful with the people that you're talking to. So I'm 20. I'll be 21 in November. And so I don't respond to guys who are older than like 25 or 26. I don't reach out to guys who are younger than 20, only because I want the person that I'm dating to be older than me. And not crazy older, but 20 or older. And I have a lot of guys who are 28, 29, 30, 32 talking to me. And I just make the choice not to talk to them. But you have to set that. You have to set that cap. Because if you talk to every single person that responds to you, you're setting yourself up for some very uncomfortable situations. And I think that's something that you really, really need to think about before you make a profile. Now, I have a very strong head on my shoulders. It's not a big deal to me that these people are talking to me. It would be like, if I was still working at the grocery store, it would be like, at one point, this actually happened. I was working later in the evening, and an older man, who I'm pretty sure was late 30s, was in with his son, and he kept asking for my phone number. You have to, like, in situations like that, think of it as the same in the sites. If you were to meet these people in person, and they would ask for your number, you would probably say no, right? I don't give my number out to begin with. I don't give it out, nor do I accept numbers, but that's, again, a story for another time. You have to think of the things that are important to you. And I think dating sites, there's just a lot of space for bad things. So if you're going to create a profile, really, really filter through the sites that you'd be comfortable with. Like, would you be comfortable with eHarmony or Zoosk? Which one just feels better quality to you, that's going to have better people on it? And I don't mean better as in the people on the site are of lower quality of life. I just mean in terms of professionalism and good character. And again, that's simply from the people that I've been seeing here. That could be the same anywhere, you know what I mean? And you have to really think of the things that matter to you. Or are you going to talk to every single person that responds? Or are you going to be very particular with the people that you talk to? Another piece of criteria for me is on this site, they can send you like wink faces, I guess. Like they're winking at you, like, hey, I'm flirting with you. But it shows up in the message spot as wink, wink. Now, I don't respond to anybody who does that. If you're just going to send me a wink, wink, and then expect me to respond, you're not going to get a response from me, only because I want to see some intellect going on here. So if you're going to send me a wink, wink, or then view my profile like 25 times, you're getting my attention, but in a very negative way. But if the first thing you say to me is, hey, how are you? I really like this thing on your profile. Or in the profile I said that I'm writing a book, or I write a blog. And I've had a lot of guys say, hey, I read your blog and that's really awesome. I love the fact that you're still looking for intellectual conversations. Or they'll say, hey, I saw that you're writing a book. What is your book about? And that to me shows a level of deeper desire to get to know, instead of just the, hey, you're cute, wink, wink. You know, like, come on now. So this was a lot of rambling. I guess that's what I'm good at when a laptop is sat in front of me. But as somebody who's doing this, I would love to know if you've been on a dating site, your experience with dating site, if you had any really crazy moments with the crazy dating site. For example, there's one guy who's 32 who I delete his messages and he just continues to text me. Like, I'm sorry, what? And I'm not going to block anybody, but I'd love to know if you've had any crazy experiences like that. I'd love to know what you think about dating sites. Do you think that they're kind of taking over the nature of relationships? Or do you think I'm just being old-fashioned? It happens. I'm more old-fashioned than I am modern, I think. But yeah, these were just my filtered thoughts about what's going on. Yeah, again, I'd love to know if there's any topics that you want to hear talked about. Okay, that's it for now. Ciao for now.